Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing all right. So it's about an hour until we have the abnormal barders. Today, we have the Easter Week 1 skins. We have Rooster Mask, Easter Chick Fridge. We have the Poncho, the Backpack, and yeah, it's just 4 of those skins, correct? Yes, it is. And then we also happen to have the Horse Costume and the Cerulean Blue Rustige Egg. When Face Punch make brand new items, by default, they are always abnormal. So I've got my links all nice and readily prepared over to here. Yes, indeed. I'm not going to make another screw up this week. So anyway, we are going to go ahead, figure out prices for these skins. And then, of course, tomorrow, regular skins. We've got like the rocket launcher, the AK. Like, they will only become marketable when the roster rotates tomorrow. And if you're a little bit confused in regards to what abnormals are, what are regular skins, just consider looking in the description right now. You'll see all the links there. The first 2 links, 2 videos, they'll help you out. First video is a short video, which will quickly explain everything. But the second video, about 20 minutes long, goes a lot more in depth. It will quite literally explain everything to you in regards to what abnormals are, how to identify them, and when they become marketable. So consider giving those a good watch. But I need to jump in now and start talking about skin prices. Rooster Mask, I'm going to talk about it separately compared to the Poncho. Let's just get all the facts out of the way. So this has not sold that much. And if I was to just quickly show you a comparison, so when I did the 48-hour analysis, I thought that I was going to do between 14 to 17,000 subscribers by Thursday. I can confirm to you, it's only done about 12,600 at the moment. That is 3 times less compared to the Raven Deer Skull Mask, and almost 4 times less compared to the Cultist Deer Skull Mask. They have ended up in the positive. People have appreciated them, and they have worked out reasonably well. I should just quickly clarify that Cultist Deer Skull Mask might be in the positive, but it's only by a slight amount. 10 cents. That's technically not actually profitable if you bought it. Now, by default, Rooster Mask isn't even the cheapest, because clearly we have that. We also happen to have the Rudolph Skull Mask. Next Christmas, it might bounce up again. We'll see. So, please take this into consideration. We only have 7 skins in total, but it isn't even the cheapest. But you should also take into consideration how many people out there in the world are going to buy the Deer Skull Mask, the Poncho, and just run around and act like a gigantic cock. Cockle-doodle-doo. I'm a rooster, yeah. But yeah, fun, goofy, very easy to acquire resource to make fun skin. So, like, I think it will get appreciated. I don't expect that many more Deer Skull Masks being produced and accepted, and we can just do this real quickly. Go to the workshop page, look up Deer Skull Mask, look by most recent. In terms of actual genuine decent attempts, well, that seems to be reasonably all right. And they have all of these. That seems to be a reasonable attempt. Basayo, that's reasonable. Then we actually look and see. So that was submitted back in April. So, well, that was a week ago. Fair enough. That was submitted back in November 2024. Fair enough. And this was submitted back in August 2024. Do you notice how, there's a bit of a big gap there? Yeah. So skins that are like an actual genuine decent attempt that look, could likely be accepted in Rust stores, we don't get many of them for Deer Skull Mask. No. So if you're worried about, other people might start doing it, we'll see. But I still stand by the idea that we're probably not going to be seeing any more Deer Skull / Bone Helmet skins. Deer Skull Bone Helmet, not sure what the right term is, but you know what I'm talking about right there. So anyway, $1.49. That is what it's currently selling for in the Rust store. It has not sold as much as I was expecting. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it with some positivity. I think that will be appreciated to a point. I'm not sure if it's going to be all right initially. I think with its goofiness, people shall appreciate it to a point. I think I'm going to do 80 cents to $1.20. I feel like it's a reasonable price to offer, and it will be better compared to the Poncho, that's for sure. But it's mainly based on the fact that we just don't get many of these skins. So that right there. We should also take into consideration next year. Oh, you just know the skin creator will make a collection continuation. Hide clothing, burlap clothing, hide boots, leather gloves, we don't know. But we're eventually going to become a gigantic chicken. Gigantic cock. Yes, cockerel, rooster, cockle-doo-doo-doo. Anyway, so don't get upset with me, YouTube. Anyway, moving on. Easter Chick Fridge. So, I've been thinking about it. I've had like a pre-warm-up with my chat talking about the recent fridges that we've had accepted. So in regards to my expectation with this fridge, 48 analysis, I thought that I was going to do between 10 to 12,000 subscribers. As of now, it's literally just on the cusp of reaching 10,000 subscribers. It has not sold ridiculously. It has sold very, very reasonably. Now, as of recent, we have had quite a lot of fridges. Within a month, 4 fridges being accepted, which is absolutely absurd when you compare it to the many fridges. Well, many, as a bit of a joke, we don't get that many fridges, but now we do, because it's more of a necessity. I can't help but assume, with a lot of people potentially rolling in for the summer, especially with the upcoming May 4 swipe, considering, it's the jungle update, a lot of people probably haven't tinkered around with fridges yet, so maybe, just maybe, we'll see a bit of improved, interest in them. Maybe they could bounce up a fair bit. Both of these did go close to around $1.50, but now they're close to around $2 at the moment, so they've kind of like dipped, but now they've kind of gone back up a slight bit. Easter Chick Fridge sells for less compared to what these sold for. $2.49, $2.49, $2.49, $1.99. It doesn't glow, but he's one handsome looking fella. There is a bit of a little, collection of these now. We have the hammer, we have the door. I can't help but assume we'll probably be seeing something else next year as well. Feel free to comment below what you'd like to see out of the Easter Chick collection. Offer some ideas. Order profile. Anyway, so I probably will do $1 to $1.50. I think it'll hold up a little bit better. Its low point will probably match up to the low points that the other fridges have done. But people have enjoyed the very goofy, silly design that is Easter Chick Fridge. It's only got 10,000 subscribers. It really isn't that much. I don't expect tons of listings on the Steam market. And you know what? Just to confirm this, how many listings do we have for the recent Frog Fridge and of course the recent Death Metal Fridge, even Cryo as well? So that has 98. So that's actually a fairly average amount. Then over to here we have 36. That's a bit of a drop. So if I could just go back over to here, someone dumping at like a higher point, 10, 11, 15. It's very spread out. But I guess people just didn't take a liking to the Frog. And over to here, Cryo Fridge with its transparency, very nice glow-in-the-dark design, almost $4. That's just taken off because people seem to appreciate. All right then, so overall, Easter Chick Fridge, I think he'll do nice and reasonable. I am anticipating, though, Halloween, Christmas, even next week, even tomorrow's Rush Store. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe another fridge being accepted because there was quite a lot of them produced. I also expect quite a lot to be produced for Halloween and Christmas. It feels like by the end of the year, we'll probably have like 10 fridges at least in terms of skins. And that is a lot more compared to what we used to see. So when there's a lot more options, it's harder for them to maintain interest and they suffer because of it. But that right there, I don't think we're going to see anything as bright and yellow and as goofy and cool. So yeah, $1 to $1.50 for that $1.99 skin. I think that's going to do a decent job retaining its value. Moving on. Rooster Poncho. So I kept this separate from the mask. Poncho, poncho, poncho. As much as you'll sit there and say, but Hedge, it goes with the mask. Funnily enough, this has actually sold quite a fair bit less compared to that. More than 3,000 less. But when you also take into consideration the many, many, many ponchos we have, a lot of them have suffered very badly. A lot of them recently have gone up in price quite nicely as well, though. I wonder what caused that. Anyway, so I am conflicted with this one. Yes, it will have a home because loads of people want to use it with that one. But I've seen some ponchos sell for less and still suffer. I am probably only going to offer 70 cents to $1. It's mainly due to the fact that there's just many other ponchos, and plus, are you going to always want to wear a poncho of this or a different poncho and whatnot? But still, like, next year, we could get some burlap clothing, some hard clothing. We could get more out of this potentially. And that would definitely cause like the poncho and the disco mask to have a bit of spike in demand, spike in price. But we have to wait a year. And over the course of the year, I can't help but assume that would probably suffer, but that would retain quite nicely. We've got plenty of ponchos. We do not have plenty of disco masks. We do not have plenty. So, okay. Playing it a bit safer on that one. Hatched backpack. I keep saying hatched chick. Hatched backpack. Someone did suggest, hey, could we like go put some white out on and put that on and see if it works? It doesn't work. The yellowness of it stands out too much. The very goofy design of the chick that has the 1,000 yards there. I think people would appreciate it to a point. Also, it hasn't sold that much. So if I could just clarify this. When I was looking at this on Saturday, I was making considerations. And I thought that was going to do between 8 to 10,000 subscribers. Well, guess what? We just about reached 8,000. So, hatchpack, shut up, you. Hatchpack. They could. They should have called it that. That's too good. Yeah, face punch, damn you. Right, anyway, hatchpack. Hatched backpack. I'm looking at that, and I'm fully well aware that this is looking to be the second lowest selling backpack skin that we've ever seen. The lowest selling backpack is the Phantom Backpack. And that only has 18 listings It's listed at $3, so it's a profit. And with the recent sales, it's actually sold at $3. But of course, some of the high bar orders have been sold to as well. So what is the overall opinion from me? Well, this has sold 2,000 more compared to that. It doesn't really go with anything. You know, Ultramarine's got Ultramarine collection. The Arctic backpack goes with the Arctic hazmat. They've worked out all right. I really do think both of these are going to have a very fun summer. Heart Collector backpack's very goofy. It's the only pink backpack we have overall, so that's kind of getting, you know, it's a nice bit. People feel compelled to get a green skin of the, you know, the backpack, even though by default the backpack is green. So I just don't think it has a home. It's also a holiday themed skin. You could look at the Lunar Snake backpack right now and see it's basically half the price. I think I'll probably do 70 cents to 90 cents for it. I could see some people appreciating it purely based on the silly idea of that, hey, I'm walking around with a chick on my back. But tomorrow, I think we'll probably see another backpack skin as well. There was a decent amount of them submitted for Easter 2025. 70 cents, 90 cents, you could offer lower. You could just take a step back. Look, listen, you don't have to do a buy order. If you really don't have confidence in the skin, just take a step back and say, you know what? I just won't spend any money. Just going to move on. See ya. Bye. So, yeah. All right. 70 cents, 90 cents. Playing it safe. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is all the skins. Now let's talk about the items. So horse costume. Rustige Cerulean Blue Egg. Let's talk about the horse costume. So I've kind of talked about this already, but honestly, just look and see how the chicken costume behaved. I fully believe the horse costume would just follow suit. So right now, this is currently listed on the Steam Market at $9.98. It has hardly budged in terms of its price. Throughout the past year, as you can see, it's just been very, very, very stable. An incredibly goofy skin that's not very hard to make because it's technically wooden legs. So yeah, it's technically a skin, but it isn't. But it is. It's not hard to get this, and it's incredibly silly to run around in. So people have appreciated it. The highest price it's ever been looks to be about $12 back in the summer of 2024. It's not huge, and it's not like massively profitable, but you got to consider its lowest price point. So this went all the way down to about $7 at its worst, around just about October, November time. So it did go down, but then it recovered. If you're going to approach the horse costume, I can't help but assume it's going to end up very similar as the chicken costume, and that means if you're trying to pick it up for a cheaper price, you're probably wanting to do between at least $4 to $6. That seems to be the way to go about it, all right? If you are a little bit unsure, well, unfortunately, I can't tell you how many of those that have been bought because it's made by Face Punch themselves. There's no workshop page. If you don't have the confidence, just take a step back and walk away. You don't have to, all right? You could just offer $5. Honestly, that would still be all right. I do not expect the horse costume to suffer immensely. I do believe it will be appreciated. If anything, I can't help but assume horse costumes probably sold less compared to chicken costume because people are probably just happy enough to just keep their chicken costumes. I don't know. Only Face Punch has those details. So anyway, looking at the horse costume, I'm making a consideration. It's going to be $4 to $6. All right? So we'll see how cheap that potentially reaches once we go through October time in 2025. But I don't really anticipate it dropping off immensely. And next year, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if we have rabbit costumes. We get to run around with a rabbit. We had to hop everywhere. Yippee. Cerulean Blue Rustige Egg. So, looking at you, a very interesting looking design. I've made a short video showcasing this, and it's pretty. It's nice. It's beautiful. But overall, it is $8. It's a high price point. But let's also just quickly remind everybody about last year's Rustige egg, which was, of course, the white egg. And the year before that, we had the green egg. And the year before that, we had many others. Anyway, point I'm trying to get across is that sold at $9. That sold at $6.50, $6, $6, $5, and $6.50. Now, these actually had a nice turnaround eventually, even though initially these both went down to about $3 each. These never suffered because when they came out, there's like a weird glitch in which you could put them in front of a door and they're basically like indestructible. Weird things have happened in the past. Anyway, the green egg has never really fully recovered. This sold for the cheapest price of $5. $2.50 right now. It's almost Easter, and is that it? And at its lowest, it has been quite bad. It's been down to about like $1.60 during September of 2024. Very weirdly, though, it went all the way up to like a very high price just before Easter last year. That kind of came out of nowhere. Can't remember what caused that. Actually, wasn't there like a glitch with Easter eggs, Rustige eggs last year? I think you could stack them or something. Just remember there were some weird issues we've seen in the past. Anyway. So, then we had the Rustige egg white, and, well, This was the most recent one to be accepted back in 2023. Yep, we got gaps now. So green egg 2021, nothing in 2024. No, wait, nothing in 2022. Something in 2023. Nothing in 2024. And then of course we now have the cerulean blue. But this kind of suffered pretty badly. And once we went through the the autumn fall seasonal dip, that went less than $2. All right. So, this is awkward. Yes, it is. I am fully expecting this brand new blue egg to drop off a fair bit as well. But it's still more pricier compared to this one. I don't know how many of the blue eggs have sold. I really don't. It's awkward. Again, made by Face Punch. No workshop page. So I'm looking at this. I've been making some considerations. We did talk about this a little bit earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down by about half its price. Now, if we do get another Rustige egg next year, which is doubtful based on the recent pattern, if we do, maybe it'll have a nice bounce up. White Rustige eggs recently gone up a fair bit. But that right there, I'm not expecting another egg next year. Well, we could get maybe a jungle theme one. That'd be pretty cool. Like dark green, I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking, and I think I'm probably going to do between $2 to $4. White Rustige egg went all the way down to less than $2. Just about less than. That is pricier, but maybe that goes all the way down to slightly less than $3. It's awkward, I know. Maybe it's sold next to nothing, and it just retains value. Maybe it's sold next to nothing. Initially it drops off, then recovers, and then just stays up around its rust or price again. I can't answer that, I'm afraid. So I'll probably play it somewhat safe and just stick with like barters around $2, $3. It's up to you what you want to do, but I would not be surprised the slightest if you could pick that up for half the price eventually at some point. And that very likely might be around October in 2025. So, okay, cool. Right then, well, that's my price suggestion. So moving on, we have the regular skins, and now I want to talk about Choco Launcher. So you know how a minute ago we just kind of like showcased all the recent actual reasonable quality disc masks that have been submitted. Let's go do the same thing with rocket launchers. And I've got to tell you, there really ain't that much. So by default, we'll see by most popular, and there are some Twitch drops there. But if I could just quickly change it to most recent, there we go. Rocket launchers don't appear to be made that much. Now, we do have one reasonable quality one there. We have the Twitch drop from last year, the Team Rocket one. We have a somewhat decent looking one there. And if I could just scroll down a little bit more, we have another somewhat decent looking one there. All right, and Yopka, that's the actual skin creator. So, cool. What about the one after this? Anyone else? Well, there's Fresh there with his minigun rocket launcher. I thought that was a cool idea. Anyway, this was made back in December of 2024. That was the first genuinely good-looking one. We just saw all the batch there. And that came out months ago, and it wasn't accepted. Okay, fair enough. Right, not going to complain. So, moving on, here we have the reinforced fire hydrant. That came out in November 2024. Then we have the plasma rocket launcher. That came out in May 2024. Guys, I just went through like 2 pages, picked out 3 reasonably good-looking ones that look like they have a genuine good chance of potentially being accepted in a Rust store. We're already back to May 2024. And if I were to just quickly close this, we also happen to see the Sulphur King rocket launcher, April 2024. And then we have the minigun launcher, March 2024. Have I made my point? Like, we just don't get that many decent, good-looking rocket launchers being produced. I don't know if it's going to cause a lot more skin creators to consider making them now, considering this was accepted. But yeah, we haven't had one in a Rust store, like a normal rocket launcher skin in a Rust store since like 2022. Yep. You'll bring up Dragon Rocket Launcher. That was made by Face Punch. Twitch drop. Made by Face Punch. There you go. That's an actual normal skin. So, okay. How are we going to approach this $1.99 Choco Launcher? Well, it's a holiday-themed skin. Well, I mean, it's chocolate. Snowman Launcher is currently suffering, and Ancient Curse Rocket Launcher is currently suffering. Christmas, Halloween. This does go up quite nicely when it's Christmas time. That one all the way up to about like $2.20 there. Awkward. Is it going to be a case of, due to a sheer lack of skins being accepted, surely Choco Launcher will be all right? I'm considering it. I will probably do. I'm probably going to do $1 to $1.50. I'm playing it safe-ish, but still somewhat close to its price. I don't think it'll drop off that badly when times are bad, but I could see it being reasonably appreciated. But I don't really feel like it's going to go up in price that much either. Like, okay, maybe I pick this up for maybe like $1.30 and I sell it for like $2.20. Profit is profit. So yeah, it looks like it'll retain quite nicely, and with a lack of competition, should be okay. We shall see. So I'll leave it at that. Looking at the Carrot Crunch M249 for the design, it looks cool. Not surprised it was accepted. Mr. Graham Crow and a Little Ranger makes some very cool looking skins, but it's an M249. If I just take one quick look at all the M249s I've seen as of recent, well, the recent one, the Lunar New Year one, that's down to 94 cents. Last year's Royal M249, $3, now it's $1.30. $1.12, $2.33, $2.72, and $1.53. That's sold at $1.99. That's sold at $3.49. That's sold at $3, and that's sold at $2.49. Overall, I'm not really in a position where I'm feeling very confident, and it's a holiday themed skin, and I'm probably just going to stick with doing 60 cents to 80 cents. 60 cents to 80 cents. In regards to Divine Bloom AK-47, by default, I worry that it's going to end up being treated like many of the other AKs we've seen that come out this year. Down pretty badly. Except you, Sakura. You're very pretty in pink. But yeah, in general, a lot of skins, they are not holding up very nicely. But this is somewhat special. This is a green AK-47, and what's just about to come out in about 2 weeks, the jungle biome. Gentlemen, ladies, I have done a lot of short videos showcasing me in green clothing and armour. Honestly, you just need dark clothing. But anyway, sitting in the bushes, sitting in the foliage, it is so incredibly easy to just kind of blend in. And with a green AK, it does help a little bit more. I have seen some green weapon skins already starting to get bought out. So if I go over to here, here is the Ruin AK. That is now sitting there at $6.50. And about a week ago, it was selling for about $3. It's essentially doubled in price. That is usually the go-to green AK that a lot of people like to pair up with, like their green clothing armor. There are other options. You could look at Fish AK, but this has hardly changed. But it's still like a $3 skin. But it hasn't really budged in terms of its price. I'm also fully well aware of the military camo. Military camo AK-47, that looks like it's also $3 at the moment. Yeah, oh no, it's $4. All right, that seems to have climbed up a fair bit. Yeah, okay, well that's starting to improve. So in short, not everyone's going to be able to afford these at some point perhaps. And I can't help but assume people probably remember that this is green. Did we ever get a green Bird of Luck AK? Let me just quickly remember. Did we get a Bird of Luck AK? I swear it was produced, I'm not sure if it's accepted. So let me just quickly look. And yes, we did. Yes, sold for $3. Now it's 85 cents. Ooh. So we kind of had this talking point before as well. I think the Divine Bloom might perform a little bit better considering the time it's come out. Also, it didn't sell that much. Only 8,000 subscribers. I think I'll probably do like 80 cents to $1.20. I'm curious, but I'm not 100% convinced. But I could see some people like... It's when that actual update comes out. That's where I think a lot of the interest is going to happen. All right? At the moment, it's all speculation. So, yeah. But the speculators have already made moves, and the speculators have already bought in. So, are there certain things other people haven't noticed? But yeah, 80 cents to $1.20. Sweet Treat Hoodie and Pants. Very straightforward answer. Basically, it's a holiday-themed clothing and armour set. It is, well, hoodie and pants clothing. I'm going to do 30 cents to 40 cents. What gives? Well, I mean, go back to Halloween, go back to Christmas, holiday-themed skins. You will not see a collection continuation for another year. And it's instantly out of season once the holiday has come and gone. So think of it this way. Basically, that right there is very likely to get very, very cheap. But considering the consistency of the acceptances, Mr. Duck has done some pretty interesting things over the past 3 years. Starting off as a primitive set, then going into hoodie and pants. Next year, tier 2, tier 3, I'm looking forward to it. I think that's a pretty decent chance. Even boots and gloves would be okay. Are we going to see a consistent amount of acceptances? 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? So, okay. Lowball price, but wait it out next year. Hopefully we get a collection continuation, and hopefully we can then see some spike in demand, spike in price, and some prices improve. So we'll wait it out. We'll see what happens next. Okay. Easter Chicks small box. I mean, I'm going to be straight up with you. Does it glow? Nice, cute design, but it's very blatantly just specifically for Easter, and I just cannot help but assume it's going to suffer. Now, the best thing we can compare to is the Easter small boxes that came out like 2 years ago, more specifically the one that doesn't glow. The one that glows is not too bad, it's only off by about 4%, but this one here, down by 45%. Get a good look at the egg basket box, only 33 listings on the Steam market, barter's only got up to 64 cents, and when you look at it at its lowest point, this is selling for about 60 cents. It is not looking like the brand new small box is going to be doing that much better. It's only sold 4,700 though. Yeah, that's a lack of interest. So overall, if you're going to actually approach it, you could probably do like 40 cents to 60 cents, but I think I'm just going to take a step back and not bother. All right, cutesy looking design, but it's Easter, and Easter's going to come and go. It's going to be out of season. I don't think people are going to care that much. It also doesn't glow. That's the whole awkward thing. So yeah, all right, very straightforward. Right then, so overall, all of this, it's basically matched up to the tame expectations, and I'm not really expecting dramatic price drops, but I think some of these things actually might work out quite nicely. It's more about the items that don't get that many skins, really, isn't it? So I feel like I've kind of explained that reasonably, and also reasonably pointed out that for some of these things like the disco mask and the rocket launcher, it doesn't look like we'll be getting tons of skins anytime soon. Cool. All right then, so what can we talk about now? So as I've already basically mentioned, if you were to go over to the Playrust, there you go. You will see that they have essentially announced that the jungle update is coming out, and it is coming out on May 1st. There you go, this is it. So over the past weekend, I have been on Orxo Free, and I have been testing a lot of things out. So if you could go over to my YouTube, you'll see in my shorts that I have a ridiculous amount of green. What is going on, Hedge? Well, you know, I've been doing some experiments, some experimenting, seeing what works in the jungle biome, clothing armor, doors for the brand new building skin and whatnot. Like, yeah, we've been having some fun. And you've probably noticed that a lot of the green skins have gone up in price ever so nice. People have been preparing. I'm not joking. Speculators have been making some moves. So if you have no clue what's been going on, see all of these for yourselves, and you'll realise, oh wow, green stuff in the jungle is pretty insane. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So okay, cool. So that's a nice thing to be aware of. Now, not sure what else is going on in the future, like. Another thing that I forgot to mention in regards to the AK is that we are aware that there is some sort of special DLC coming out, like a pack. So you remember when we got the primitive game mode being introduced, we had the medieval pack with the very nice golden AK and the large box, the double door, special barricade and whatnot. Well, it seems like a wicker and bamboo storage is currently being worked on. It looks like we're getting some sort of special storage, obsidian knife, and a jungle AR. We've already talked about the mentions of an Aztec AR. Is that going to be green? And if that's green, is that going to be that special anymore? I think it will be green. It would be nice, like, you know how we have like the Abyss AK, where it's like dripping water and it's got like the seaweed on it? I want to see an AK of like jungle ones and maybe some like bugs crawling over or something. That'd be cool. But it might be a little bit too much. But anyway. If it's green, oh, okay. Maybe that's going to be the one people are going to like using. All right, so that's cool. And still don't know what this is. The Coco Knight Armor DLC. We haven't got a visual of that. So this is why I'd always mention that if you want to be up to date with the new things that are currently being like mentioned, or if you want to get like the first preview, consider looking at Pro Talks on Mr. Shelby. Shelby does speak French, but he does provide some very nice imagery and videos, so you don't have to read. Right, so cool. That's very nice, and mostly everything has matched up to the expectation of what was going to sell, so okay, cool. All right then, so I do believe we've pretty much caught up with everything. This upcoming weekend, all the regular skins are going to be submitted again. So skin creators were supposed to take a week off, and if I could just navigate over to here, as I've said, tomorrow we are expecting Easter week 2. All right, that is to be expected. We still have plenty of skins. The real question is, what are we going to see for the last Rustor of the month? Tomorrow is going to be the 16th. The 17th. Whoopsie, my brain was out of place there. But next week is the 24th. Will we end up with 3 weeks of Easter? Or will we get like a normal Rustor? Or will tomorrow be like a normal Rustor with some Easter items? So just to remind you, last year, we didn't see that many sales in the first week of Easter, and I think that's what kind of influenced Face Punch to change their mind and how they approached. So yeah, remember this, 2 Easter skins, 2 Easter items, and then everything else. And that was supposed to be Easter week 2. Could we see that happen all over again? I don't think so. I think the skins that we got this year are a bit more, of quality. interesting designs and whatnot. But you never know. You never know. So just wanted to bring that up to your attention. Now, the last roster of the month, is it going to be a third week? We shall see. But keep an eye on the workshop, because I just can't help but assume, with all these green skins going up in price ever so nice, that other skin creators are going to try and follow suit. So, by default, I would sit here and say, keep an eye out for all the new skin submissions. I'm already seeing someone putting out some green clothing and armour. But we also have to bring something else up now. What's that? Are you noticing some interesting looking skins right there? So with the jungle update coming out for May 1st, yep, May 1st, it looks like we might be getting something else to entice people to constantly keep watching Rust and constantly keep being involved in Rust. It looks like we're going to get a batch of generic drops. So yes, Twitch drops on the horizon. Probably ready for May, we shall see. But it's all like the server providers, Rusty Moose, Play Rust, Rust Spain. I know of a rusticated one, but it got removed. It probably wasn't fully finished. I don't know how many Twitch drops there are going to be, but they all appear to be generic drops. There's going to be like no one streamer giving these away. And just to point out, you might think that sleeper bag looks very cool. Doesn't glow. It doesn't glow. So when all of the skins are finished and everything's known for what's actually going to be all the skins, I will make a video showcasing all of them. I will assure you of that. So cool. So once again, don't forget to keep an eye out on the workshop over the course of the weekend. And you might have noticed these two. So apparently you can skin high external walls. You can't actually bring them in. This was just like a joke. And then now we got the whiteout one. That's also... Why are you taking a picture of that, Mr. PY? I just saw what he did. It was the first time I looked. Oh, great. Thanks, sir. Thank you very much. All right, anyway, so all is good. And again, if you don't want to keep an eye on all the skins that are being submitted this way, you can always just look at micro522.com, just click date submitted. It's not that hard. And a collection, the link to that is in the description. So yeah, that's another way of staying up to date with all the new skin submissions. Cool. Thank you so much, Mr. PYH. Anyway, shall we skip ahead now and do the buy orders? Okay. I'm keeping an eye on it. I can't show the time because this doesn't show time anymore. Thank you very much, Microsoft. And it is 1 o'clock in the morning, and the horse costume is not currently available, but it will be eventually, maybe, possibly. Yeah, you're gonna show it to me? What about the egg? There you go. There's the egg. Yeah, egg's already got 500 buy orders. All right, that was kind of expected now, wasn't it? No, right. Give me that. Right. No horse costume. All right, well, we've got to move on. Easter chick fridge. Hello, good sir. You handsome fella. Where art thou? Come on. Show me. Ah, no, it's gone funny. Right, horse costume. Go. There. Perfect. Thank you. $6 already. Wow. There it is. Quick. Right, move. Let's go. Now, I suggested $1. Yep, that's correct. And then we have the Hatch backpack. You know what? On this account, I'm not sure if I want to. Rooster Poncho, I do want to. You don't have that many buy orders. Okay, I'll make some room for you. Yes, thank you. Right, 40. There you go. I don't think I'm going to bother with doing a buy order on this account. So, you're not even there, are you? All right, so that was the buy orders with Hal. Little by little, we get more and more buy orders on him. And, little by little, eventually he might not be able to do any more buy orders. So, cool. Anyway, let's skip ahead. All right, guys, we're back. It's been a good couple hours. We're in Orc 3, testing out more jungle stuff. We're having fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at all these skins. And unfortunately, as much as I'd like to sit here and talk about the abnormal barter support, the issue we saw of last week's skins is also now affecting this week's skins, including the brand new items, which you can see. Now, if you don't fully understand the issues, I'll quickly showcase this to you. So if I could just go over to here, I have a horse costume that's marketable. And in just this particular instance, I'm going to try and get £500, which is probably equal to about $600. So there you go. I've got the listing. Now, if I could just quickly verify and get that sorted out. So here you go. Right. Listing's gone through. Now, if I go over to here, you will see for yourself that this listing, there you go, £500. So you would be sitting there and saying, Hedge, why have you done that? If I actually look over to here, it doesn't show. it's glitched, it's bugged. It is an issue. I don't know if this is something Facepunch can fix themselves. I'm not sure if this is a specifically like Steam thing, so Valve would have to fix it. But yeah, I'm fully well aware of that. Unfortunately, the only way in which you can actually sell these is to the highest buy order, and that is a potential problem. And why is that? Because that could potentially kill off all the support, all the barter support that these skins and items have. It happened before with Redemption and Bombshell Armored Door. Initially, they had a lot of support, loads of people wanted them, but because this issue happened, and, well, people who own these skins get a little bit antsy, a little bit worried, they're like, oh, it might go down in price, I better sell everything now, and they do, unfortunately. So, don't be too surprised if this potentially suffers because of it, but if it gets fixed reasonably quickly, alright, maybe it's not going to be that much of a problem. But it is looking like it's a problem. So, yeah, just wait it out for another week or two. But just to kind of really get the point across, let's just go to the previous week. And I can point out that all the skins here, they've all gone down in price. And it's not surprising based on what I just told you. And if you look at them, again, no listings whatsoever. Because people can't list them. So hopefully that gets fixed eventually at some point. But yeah, that could potentially be a very, very bad thing for all the skins and the brand new items. So, all right, we'll see how that goes. So, regardless, I can still talk about the abnormal barter support, and the horse has a lot. Horse has so much support going all the way up to about $7. So, having pointed out that it looks like this might emulate the chicken costume, all the support that it has there is basically built around the idea that it's going to go down to maybe around $7 at some point, around October time this year. So, okay, people listening in, fair enough, but with this issue here, it might get a little bit worse. So, if you've got a high buy order, you might want to question it, but you don't have to rush into removing it. And we'll see how this plays out. I don't expect a lot of people to instantly want to sell theirs right now, especially during Easter. So we have some time, but be aware and be a bit careful, right? So, okay then, horse costume. In theory, you should be all right if you're going to emulate the chicken costume's behaviour. But what about the Rustige egg? So I was questioning this quite a lot. It is an $8 item. But the barters are only going up to $4.50. You could put down a $5 barter. I would not be surprised in the slightest if you pick these up for a cheaper price. But this is kind of like making me think that this might go all the way down to maybe $3 at some point, which, if you look at all the barters, that's where it's mostly situated. $2 to $3. Oof. So we'll see how this turns out. It's a very nice looking Rustige egg. The music, the lovely little cargo, it looks awesome. But is it actually going to retain its value? I don't know. So yeah, that's not looking very stable. However, the Rooster Mask, as of now, if hopefully this page gets fixed at some point, this is looking pretty good. This is selling for $1.49, but as you can see, the bar has gone all the way up to $1.20. This is looking fairly stable, and again, the fact that we're very likely not going to be seeing another like Deer Skull Mask being produced and accepted. Also, the possibility of seeing a continuation next year. I think people will appreciate it. I can see this working out quite nicely. Now, if you were to sit here and say, does that mean I should buy some? You could go ahead and buy some. But with this current issue, maybe we'll have some issues like initially, but we are about to approach the summer. We are about to have potentially a lot of people turning up for May 4th Swipe with the Jungle Update release. And then afterwards, during the summer, when kids are out of school, summer vacation, I'm sure you get the idea. So that is looking appealing, and it is something you could consider buying if you wanted to. Over here, Easter Chick Fridge, a $2 skin. Looking at the bar orders, it's going all the way up to $1.66. This is another instance where it's like, okay, if you're feeling brave and confident and you do think that this Easter Chick fridge is going to work out quite nicely, and if you truly believe we're going to see even more of it next year, which, again, I wouldn't be surprised, 3 years in a row we have seen Easter Chick skins being accepted, I think it could work out quite nicely. Now, the fridges, the other ones that came up somewhat recently, they're kind of pushing up to $2. We're about to reach the summertime. That could have a very nice time ahead of it. But will we see another fridge being accepted tomorrow? Will we see more fridges throughout the rest of this year? That is kind of expected. But if you wanted to, it does look like it could hold up quite nicely for a while. But the issues with the Steam Market page, that is something you had to consider. Rooster Poncho, it's only going up to $1. Yeah, doesn't look like it's as reliable compared to the Disco Mask. But hey, if we see more of it next year, it could have a nice turnaround. It could rise up in price quite nicely. We'll see how that, develops, evolves. So, okay, cool. And then the Hatch backpack, yeah, that's only going up to $1. That's not retaining its price. That is going to go down, 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 down. Yep, that's all I can really say. So honestly, if you really wanted to, you could go after these two skins here. But still, smart barders, you know, if you could just put like a somewhat higher barder and probably still pick these up, especially with this current issue, I'm afraid. So, alright, overall, it turned out quite nicely, turned out interesting, and we'll see how much more of these sell by tomorrow. Will we actually reach up to 14,000 for that? Will this comfortably actually go over 10,000, maybe up to 10,500? Who knows? And don't forget about the regular skins tomorrow when the Rooster rotates. Now, are we expecting an early Rooster rotation? As of now, I wouldn't expect that. But you never know. Be prepared for such a thing. So if you're watching this on Thursday and you're like, oh, wow, okay, that's actually true. Like, go look at the skins now. Go look and see how much abnormal barter support they have. Make a consideration if you just want to buy some. Remember, not everything has to be an investment. You could just buy a skin if you like it. You know, it's fine. Treat yourself. But if you're actually considering an investment, yeah, you might want to make a move just in case. Because, again, Face Punch moves in mysterious ways. Maybe they just might want to get the Rust out of the way so they can keep focusing the jungle update. So, yeah, okay, that is everything. All right, then. So, tomorrow, another week of Easter. The next week, though, we shall see. All right? So, at the very least, keep an eye on the workshop, see what new things are being posted. And, yeah, we'll see what happens next. So, thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Be prepared and be wary of this current issue on the Steam market. Fingers crossed it does get fixed. It's been fixed in the past, but these skins are likely going to suffer because of it, okay? So, pass on word. I have passed on word to Face Punch. I'm pretty sure they're fully well aware of it by now, but we'll see what happens next. All right, so double thumbs up, all good. Enjoy your Easter. Enjoy the Rooster rotation tomorrow. Have a lovely weekend. Catch you later. Soon, goodbye.